Hello guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will look at number of subsequences that satisfy the given sum condition problem, which is from Leetcode number 1498. A good problem to solve is the two sum problem, which is from Leetcode number 1. Let's now read the problem statement. In this problem you are given an array of integer nums and an integer target. Return the number of non-empty subsequences of nums such that the sum of the minimum and maximum element on it is less than equals to target. Since the answer may be too large, we need to return it modulo 10 to the power 9 plus 7. If you look at the first example, then here we have an array of size 4 and the target value is 9. In this particular example, how many subsequences can we generate? We can generate 2 to the power 4 subsequences because each of the element will have two choices of not getting included and getting included. So out of these 2 to the power 4 possible subsequences, there are these subsequences from where you can generate the maximum and minimum sum to be less than equals to given target, and that is why the sum is equals to 4. If you look at this 3, 5, 6, the minimum is 3, the maximum is 6, and the sum is 9, which is less than equals to target, so this is valid. If you look at this 3, if your subsequence only has a single element, the minimum and the maximum is going to be the same element. And if you add it up, 3 plus 3 will be 6, and 6 is less than equals to 9, so this is also valid, right? So if you do it in the brute force approach, it will take you 2 to the power of n, which is 2 to the power of length of the nums array time, and you see that the nums length is 10 to the power of 5, so that means 2 to the power of 10 to the power of 5 is going to be a very, very large number, and certainly it is going to be way beyond your 10 to the power 8. So we cannot go with something like 2 to the power of length. Also, you cannot go with an n square technique, because if you do n square on 10 to the power of 5, it is going to be 10 to the power of 10, which is beyond your 10 to the power 8 limit, and this will also give you TLE. Looking at the constraint itself, you can make out that you need an n log n or an order of n algorithm. Anything would be fine, right? At least an n log n algorithm must be present. Then the nums at I, that means each of the element of the array is 10 to the power of 6, and the target is maximum 10 to the power of 6. So everything is within the integer range. Having understood the constraint, let's now look at some observations. In this case, we are given an array of size 4 and the target being 9. We know that if we want to generate any subsequence, arrangement matters in subsequence. Let's say that I am giving you an L and R range. That means I will be generating a subsequence, a valid subsequence from 0 to 3. Let's say that that subsequence is going to be 3, 5, 6. Then in this case, I am just caring about finding the minimum and the maximum number. The minimum is 3 and the maximum is 6, right? So I just want to add minimum and maximum and check if it is less than equals to target. So does it matter whether I have a subsequence called 3, 5, 6, or I have a subsequence of 5, 3, 6, or I have a subsequence called 5, 6, 3? The ordering of the subsequence will not matter for this particular use case of the problem, okay? And therefore, since I just care about the min and max of the subsequence, arrangement for the subsequences don't matter for this particular use case, okay? And if it does not matter, then I can do something with the given array. I can just arrange them. I can sort it. And why do we need to sort it anyway? Let's say that we have sorted it 3, 5, 6, 7. Why do we need to sort it? If we have sorted it, and if I now give you the left and right pointer somehow, okay, I have given you the left and right pointer, then in this case, by just looking at the range from L to R, you will be knowing what is the minimum. The minimum will always be array at L, and the maximum is always going to be the array at R. So now you can simply compare the L and R. That means you can just add L and R, right? In this case 3 plus 7, and you can check if it is less than equals to the given target or greater than the given target. And based on that, you can actually make a decision whether you are achieving your goal of the minimum and maximum being less than equals to target. If you are not achieving, then try to adjust these two pointers, okay? This approach is very similar to your two sum technique, the two sum technique from Leetcode number 1. So in this case, I will show you a dry run where you are given the array and I will be trying to sort it, because I know that arrangement do not matter for this particular problem, and the target being 6. So I will be taking an L value at 0 and the R value at 5. And now I can just compare if array at L plus array at R, if it is greater than the given target T, okay, then I will be moving the R pointer to the left. In this case 1 plus 6 is greater than 6, and that is why I need to decrease the 2 sum, so I will be moving it to the left hand side. So the R is now pointing to index number 4. Okay, now otherwise if this is not the case, like now if you check 1 plus 5, it will be less than equals to 6. If this is not the case, then I will be maintaining a subsequence counter, and to the subsequence counter I will be adding the total count here, whatever you get for this particular subsequence from 0 to 4, right? Now whenever you count the subsequences from 0 to 4, since the problem statement already mentions that the subsequence cannot be empty, I will always assume that the array at L will be present no matter what. So if it is present, then it will have exactly one option of getting included, while the rest of the items will have two choices of getting included or excluded. Getting included or excluded, right? So in this range from L to R, how many items are having two choices? R minus L items will be having two choices, because I can include or exclude any set of items except for array at L, and I will get every time a valid subsequence. You can say that I will be including 1, 3 and 5. 1, 3, 5. In this case the maximum is going to be 5, minimum as 1. 5 plus 1, 6, less than equals to target, so it is valid. Okay, so we need to count all the valid subsequences, and since we know that R minus L items will have two choices per item, therefore it will give me 2 to the power of R minus L subsequences, and the first item, that means L, I'm always assuming that it will be present all the time, because if you don't include any of these items, then the array will have at least the array at L. Okay, so in that case I will not be adding any combination for it, right? Because that is already counted. When you do not include anything from 1 to 4, the 0th item is already counted. So what will be the total number of subsequences in the range of 0 to 4 when you know that array at 0 plus array at 4 is less than equals to target? It will be 2 to the power of 4 minus 0, which will be 4. So 16 subsequences will be present. So to the subsequence count, which starts from 0, I will be adding 16 to it. I will be adding 16 to it. Okay, so my total count will reach to 16, right? Now what to do? Once you are done with this, then I need to move this left pointer to the right hand side. Why I am doing this? Because all the subsequences which are valid starting with this index 0, that means 1, have been counted. So I need to move the left pointer to the right hand side. Okay, so I will be doing L plus plus in such case. And now again you check 5 plus 2, is it less than equals to 6? No. So move this right pointer to the left hand side. Now you check 2 plus 4, is it less than equals to 6? Yes. So in this case the L value is 1, the R value is 3. So how many valid subsequences will be present? Only 2 and 3 will have two choices of getting included or excluded, whereas the array at L, I will assume that it only has one choice of getting included, because you need to have non-empty subsequence all the time. Okay, so here I am trying to count all the valid subsequences starting at L, that means at index 1. So I will have 2 to the power of R minus L, that means 3 minus 1, 2. So 4 valid subsequences starting at index 1. So 4 will be added and this becomes 20. Now you proceed even further, and if it is valid, I will be moving this L to the right hand side, and you see that if you add 4 plus 3, it is invalid, and if it is invalid because it is greater than 6, so you move the right pointer to the left hand side. Now L and R are pointing to the same index, and yes, it is fine. In this case, if you add 3 plus 3, it is less than equals to 6, fine. So the total combinations will be 2 to the power of 2 minus 2, which is 0. So that count will be 1. So 1 will be added and it becomes 21, right? So 1 was the total count of subsequence starting at index 2. And now L will move to the right hand side of R, and that is where we have to stop. So we have to write a loop where L will be less than equals to R. If this is true, then it will keep running. And as the loop condition breaks, as soon as L becomes greater than R, it will stop. And that is how you can solve the problem, right? So in the first step, you had done n log n sorting, and once you have done sorting, Then in the second step, you can apply the simple two pointer approach in order to count the total number of subsequences. If you look at this technique, then you will require to find 2 to the power of certain number. Okay, and that certain number, the power value, the power value here will be maximum length, and you know that length will be ranging from 1 to 10 to the power of 5. So you can get queries of 2 to the power of I, where I will be ranging from 1 to 10 to the power of 5. So it's not a good idea to keep on calling the power function for this, but rather you can pre-compute all the power values. How can you pre-compute? If you have to pre-compute power values till 2 to the power of 3, then for 0th value you can fill it up with 1, and for rest of the values, the power of 2 at any index I will be equals to the power of 2 at index I minus 1 multiplied by 2, and you need to take mod of 10 to the power 9 plus 7. This has to be done, right? So here you just take the previous value, multiply, take the previous value, multiply, take the previous value, multiply, and it will keep on going, right? So this is how you can pre-compute and keep all the pre-computed power values and use this to add to the total subsequences. Okay, so in this case, if you build this up, then you will require the total length of this power of 2 array to be equals to the length, which is n. So the space complexity is also going to be order of n. Okay, and the time complexity will be n log n. I hope it is clear. Let's now look at the code. If you are someone who is looking to prepare for top product based company within a limited time of just 3 months, then we have brought for you both the DSA and the system design live interview training program. The most important feature of this program is you get a filtered and condensed structured curriculum, in-depth discussion of all the topics, and my guarantee of your understanding, one-on-one guidance with me, and live weekend classes. To know more about the training, you can WhatsApp us on this given number. In this problem, we are given the nums array and the target. So I am finding the size of the nums array and taking power of 2, which will be pre-computed. So I am trying to pre-compute the power of 2. At 0 I will be having 1, which is 2 to the power of 0, and later from 1 to n, power of 2 at I will be power of 2 at I minus 1 into 2 times long, so that I convert it to 64-bit integer to avoid overflow, and take mod of 10 to the power 9 plus 7. Here I have defined mod as 10 to the power 9 plus 7. After doing the pre-computation, I will be sorting the entire nums array and taking the subsequence counter, assigning it to 0, and then applying the 2-pointer approach as I had explained. And finally, I will be returning the total count of subsequences, right? So I hope this approach is clear. If you still have any doubt, then feel free to comment below and I'll try to help you as soon as possible. See you guys in the next video. Thank you.